Assalamu alaikum everybody. It has been another hot minute since I've made a video. However, I think it's a good point in my nursing career where I'm able to do a good chunk of update. So this is the first time I will be renewing my license. The first time you get your license, you're going to renew after 2 years. I was dreading renewing my license. I didn't know what the process was, but honestly, I'm sure it depends on the hospital. Honestly, it's super easy, so I definitely want to share what I'm doing to renew my license. I also have to renew, or I have to update you guys on like my bachelor's degree. So I'm coming up on my final last 3 nursing courses, and then I also have to take like humanities, and then I have to take a Florida civic exam, which I think it has something to do with like US history. I don't know. I'll get there when I get there, but alhamdulillah, I only have 3 more nursing courses, and then I have the humanities class, which I think is just going to be like a US history, and then I just have that Florida civics exam, and then I'll have my bachelor's, inshallah. Another thing I wanted to share with everybody, I think I've gotten to a pretty safe spot in this pre-boarding process. I am changing specialties. I am going from working in the ICU with adults, pre-post surgical unit, to newborn ICU, neonatal ICU, and I'm super excited because I went into nursing with the intention of becoming a neonatal nurse practitioner. So I'm very excited and comfortable that now, once I get comfortable with the systems of a neonate, once I get comfortable with the care of being a neonatal nurse, I'll be comfortable with applying to NP school. And I always told myself, if I become a nurse practitioner, it's only going to be if I become a neonatal nurse practitioner. So inshallah, everything goes well with that journey. But I definitely want to continue sharing my journey. I just felt like I was getting to a point where nursing is consistently changing, evidence-based practice. I heard one of my friends is in nursing school, and during her program, they're actually going away with ATI and they're switching to a new supplemental learning source. And I literally lived off ATI. Once I finally realized, with all of the resources that nursing school gives you, all of the different textbooks, once I finally understood that prioritizing ATI was the key to understanding systems, disorders, medications, once I knew that ATI was just a way better source than any other textbook, I mean, it was my lifeline. And then it also helped with the majority of my exams, because we took our exams towards the end of my nursing school program. We started taking exams on ATI. So of course, using the dynamic quizzes that ATI offers, I was able to practice what kind of answer choice they were looking for based on what the question was asking. So you get a lot of practice when you know which textbook to prioritize, if that makes sense. So many amazing things that are coming my way. I'm so happy, alhamdulillah. I'm actually coincidentally moving closer to my job, to my new hospital. So it'll be like, hopefully like a 25-30 minute drive instead of like 35-40 minutes. And then I'm hoping to stay PRN at my current hospital, because I do want to keep like the ICU experience with adults under my belt just for a little bit longer. I feel like if I reach at least 2 years, it would be a lot more safer. I would feel a lot more comfortable, because I feel like even 2 years after nursing, essentially it's a 1.5 years on my own, because I think I did like, it felt like 6 months as like with a preceptor. I honestly want to say it was like, I know it was like 13 weeks, but I feel like I was on my own for a 1.5 years. That's how I told myself in my head. I was like, it's okay. I've only been on my own for 6 months. Okay, it's okay. I've only been on my own for a year. Oh, it's okay. I've only been on my own for a 1.5 years. And now it's like, if I reach 2 years on my own as an ICU nurse with adults, I feel like I would be much more comfortable than just like, you know, jumping into different specialty. But yeah, I really do appreciate still everybody being so supportive. I'm still getting comments on my videos, and a lot of views as well still. And then some people are also messaging me on Instagram as well. They're asking questions. And I know I said this on my last video so long ago. Hijab tutorials for scrubs, I definitely have gotten better, much more comfortable and quicker with putting hijab on. So inshallah, I will be adding like a clip or two of some different styles that are comfortable and they're manageable in nursing. As you can tell, my apartment is a mess right now. That's just how it gets. I don't know if it gets like that with people who work day shift. I have to go all the way to my new apartment complex. It's like 45 minutes to an hour away. My lease started 2 days ago, but I wasn't able to do a walkthrough, pick up my keys just because of my night shift situation. So now I have to go pick up my key, do my walkthrough, hopefully come back, pick up my space, Sunday reset, catch up on some homework, and then do some online work modules, and then turn in some like pay slips. So that is the to-do list for today. I usually like to do a mini Sunday reset, pick up as much as I can, and then usually spend time with family or like visit friends, but that's not the case today. So yeah. I did it. I caved. I tried Pilates for the first time a few weeks ago. Today was my 8th class. Juma Mubarak. My ideal Friday is honestly going to Pilates around 12 o'clock, of course getting my matcha, and going to Juma prayer around 1:30. It's sunnah to take care of yourself. Nobody wants to be paying $80 a month for a membership. I definitely don't want to be paying $80, $90 for a membership. However, I just feel like going from a gym girly who's been in the gym like 6 days a week, 5 days a week. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you remember me putting gym clips inside my nursing school clips. I took a year off of the gym after I graduated nursing school. It was just so hard to do the transition. Alhamdulillah, like now I got back into the gym, but I'm also incorporating Pilates, which I've never done so many oblique workouts and like fit workouts, so I can definitely see a drastic change. Like not only am I building muscle, but I'm also getting more leaner, toner, and like, so I just wanted to share that with everybody because, you know, it's very important to take care of yourself no matter what it takes. Okay, so I'm going to show 2 different ways I wear my hijab for work. It's been super convenient. I've just been able to throw on my hijab, and it's been, for the most part, pretty comfortable to wear it at work. I don't have any complaints. It's doable. The first style, both pieces are going to be equal length. When I shape the fabric around my face, I'm going to fold it not just once, but I'm going to fold it twice. You'll see me grab an extra piece of fabric on both sides. And this I noticed, I used to wear safety pins. Now doing this, I've been able to wear just a regular straight pin without it falling out. I also overlap the 2 sides together just to give it a little bit more security. Then I'm going to thread the needle through. So I'm going to start pushing the needle down and then bring it back up, and I'll probably bring it down again. You'll see me thread it through just to keep it securely in place. With this style, I'm going to tuck one end of the hijab through my scrubs, and I'm going to pull it through the bottom, making sure that the fabric is like evenly distributed so it's not like balled up. And then I'm going to take the other side of the hijab, wrap it around. Usually when I walk into the hospital, I have this piece like just hanging out. To me, I feel really pretty with this style. And then after I adjust it, this is what I do if I go into a patient's room and I get, work in. I tuck that piece in. A little more adjusting. I've been trying to get into the habit to check the back just to make sure everything looks good from behind. And then the other way I wear it, I'll show in a moment. But this, for the most part, is how I wear it the first way. Just get a 360. I try to make sure my bun isn't too big, but I have very curly, poofy hair. And then here I can show a demonstration that I can fit my stethoscope under my ears and keep that modesty. I just came back from my first shift of 2. This past week and this week, I only get 2 shifts off in between, or 2 days off in between my shifts. I'm gonna show you my schedule for the month of January. It was possibly the worst schedule I've had in a while. I literally had like maybe I had 2 days off, and then I get another 2 days off. So I work tonight, Sunday, and then tomorrow I will do Pilates, and I think I'm gonna see my family tomorrow, inshallah. Tuesday, I have a whole bunch of appointments scheduled. I have a meeting, so it's not even a day off. I have a meeting in the morning, and then I have to do a physical at my job right after. I did get a preceptor. It's one of my coworkers for this semester. We're not doing anything clinical, hands-on, no patient care, but we are submitting our assignments to our preceptor. They are reviewing them, and then they're going to give us feedback. We have to keep a log of how many hours we interact with our preceptor and submit that at the end of the semester. Inshallah, I get that all submitted before I leave on my trip, because I am going on a trip at the end of February. So yeah, I just want to share my schoolwork with you. I want to share what it's like to finish up your bachelor's degree if you do decide to split up your associates and your bachelor's. And then I also want to show you what it's like to complete the modules to renew your license. And then I will have my camera to show you how I wear my hijab to work. So, lots to share. I do want to add that I was able to do a walkthrough of the apartment, and then I was able to pick up my current apartment. I did do like a Sunday reset yesterday. I did pick up, I did meal prep, and what I've been doing lately is I've been bringing my meals for like the 3 shifts in a row, or the 2 shifts in a row. I've been bringing them on the first shift. That way they're already in the fridge at work. I just take like a small corner. I take a small corner, and I have like my meal prep bowls like just stacked. It's literally just 3 bowls stacked. Doesn't really take up that much space. And then each day I will bring like my fruit. I've been obsessed with like apples, cuties, a banana, and of course my water. And then if I make shahi before work, then I'll bring that as well. So it's just a huge help, and like I go hands-free, and I don't have to carry as much every single day when I go to work. It's already there, my lunch is already packed, and it's super helpful and convenient, because nobody wants to meal prep. Like I was meal prepping every single day of my I would make my meals for 3 days, like right before work. Or I would only meal prep for the first 2 shifts, and then for the 3rd shift I'm either buying lunch at the hospital or I'm cooking something else before I leave for work. Sometimes I would do grocery shopping real quick before my shift, then cook, and then like try to fit the gym. So it was just too much. Alhamdulillah, I figured out a pretty decent schedule. So I just try to do a nice Sunday reset before I go back into work. I try to have as much done as possible before my 3 shifts start. And then if I want my food a little bit fresher, I'll have everything marinating in the fridge. And then the shift the day of my shift, I will quickly put it in the oven for like an hour, and then I'll meal prep everything before I go in for that shift. And then I'll take all of my stuff for the next 3 days into work and just leave it in the fridge. It's just been a super helpful tip. Alright, this is the second hijab style that I've been wearing for work. with my scrubs. Disclaimer, this one does not have as much chest coverage as the first one. It's just been super convenient and not in the way of patient care. I'm going to start off with both equal length. If you can tell, this material is a little bit thinner than the first one that I showed. So I'm going to try to make sure that I grab enough material on both sides, just to make sure that my pin is safely secured. I'm going to overlap both ends, and then I'm going to thread the needle starting from the top, bring it down, thread it through, and then thread it back down again. I'm going to throw both lengths over my shoulder. I'm going to tie it in the back. I'm going to show you in a second how I do that. This way I feel super pretty, but unfortunately it's not as much chest coverage as I'd like. It's just so much fabric to hide when I'm doing patient care. So this is super convenient. At times I do notice that the tie in the back does loosen a little bit, but for the most part, I can get my stethoscope in, and there's not as much fabric in the way. It is January 28th. I just finished my second shift out of 3 in a row. And I just want to reflect on tonight because last night was the very first night I ever got a one-to-one patient. So in ICU, typically you have 2 patients, and in some like critical ratios, you have 3 patients. But last night I was a one-to-one, a patient who was critically ill. I started off the shift with 2 patients, and then when I got my patient back from the OR, they were just not doing well. They weren't doing well to the point where I couldn't handle 2 patients. So they ended up just, having this patient, 1 nurse, 1 patient. I had a tremendous amount of help. Inshallah, tonight when I do get the same patient back, if I get the same patient back, I will have less help. I'm most proud of myself because I was asking questions. I was trying to anticipate what I needed, what scans I needed, what labs I needed, what supplies I needed. I was thinking about what was possibly wrong with the patient, what was missing, and why they were going through these post-surgical complications. So it was very nice to see like my critical thinking skills finally kicking in. Okay, so this is the email that I received from my unit educator from the current hospital that I work at. You can see here it says that we have to renew our license by this date. I believe whatever month you passed your NCLEX, received your RN license, regardless of like when you actually received that number, received that license, you're put in a certain I don't know, like you just receive like a general date. I think just a portion of people who receive their license in a certain amount of time frame, they just get assigned all the same date, because several nurses that received their license at different parts of the year have the same date. So basically you'll get assigned a date. I was provided with these 3 websites. So in order to renew your license, the criteria for Florida would be to get a certain amount of CEUs. Here it says here, receive a certain amount of CEUs, and then you also have to pay the Board of Nursing in order to renew your license. I decided to go with CE Broker. There's a variety of different websites that you can use. Once you create an account on CE Broker, looks like this. It'll keep track of your progress, and then you basically have to complete some modules. So it'll tell you how long the modules are, the courses that you have to complete, and then you go on the Florida Board of Nursing. You'll select Renew. You'll select Renew, and then you'll select Renew. 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 And then you'll see select renewals, you'll log in with your information, and then you'll be able to select if you've been convicted or of anything, if your license is on hold or has any discretions on it, and then you'll be able to go ahead and pay. So the best thing about CE Broker is, I'm not going to show you, but it will have your license number and your information once you create an account. So it's easily linked with the Board of Nursing. So all of these websites listed down here, I believe, are the same thing. I went with CE Broker. Once I complete my modules, the Board of Nursing will be updated on all my CEUs, and then I can go ahead and renew my license.